two ducks,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
all on the selectors, not the guy's fault. I mean, what he he shouldn't have been there. He should have never
Yeah.
been in the squad. So you put him in there or you take him off. Hey guys, so welcome to the 18th episode of the Yorker. Bangladesh just played the second ODI versus Zimbabwe, and they won pretty easily, even a more convincing win than what they had in the first ODI. Uh, I missed the first innings, but I was watching the second innings on and off. Rinat, did you get to watch the match?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of first innings, then ended up watching the whole highlights afterwards, and then watched pretty much the entire second innings. It was a good game. I feel like the opening really clicked. It was really good to see two of our not so regular openers uh, putting together a nice little partnership. Uh, Batting was probably the highlights of today's game for us, and then also a little bit about the death over bowling, how we recovered pretty well. It was all in all, it was a good game. It was a good toss to win. I feel like because bowling under Dew would have been very tough for us.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, I agree on the death bowling. I was actually checking quick info while I was on the bus, and I remember they had like 5 overs left, and it was 226. And I
yeah,
really thought they would have the platform to go all the way up to 270, but when
right.
I saw that it was less than 250, I was very happy with that. Uh, just we'll spend more time talking about the bowling. I feel like the batting was pretty straightforward. Kayes looks like he's going to be a mainstay now. There is no way you can put Kayes out of the ODI squad now. Uh, just a little bit about Fuzzley, I guess we need to talk about him. Two ducks, but to me, he should have never been included in the first place. So all the blame to me goes to the selectors because he wasn't extraordinary in the domestics either that justified his selection. I was wondering if you had something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our Dhaka Premier League scores, which is directly related to the 50 over game, he had a pretty decent run. It was nothing exceptional. I think since we were just looking for some players to replace our middle orders and our late lower order batsmen, I don't think it was a smart idea.
Right.
And uh, and overall, I think I can't really blame him for the two games. The first
Me
game
neither.
dismissal was pretty good. Second game again, it was a little lack of patience, I guess.
Lack of
Uh,
patience and all about nerves. Like,
yeah, and
and
and nerves,
right.
right?
We actually, me and Rinat, we had another conversation about the how we can market the domestics better, where we got into this topic, and I'll be releasing that conversation soon. So I think
Yeah,
nerves had a big part to play in this. And then, of
it did.
course, after that, Mushfik and Mitun came and finished the job. Good on Mitun, got a not out. I mean, I know that's very, very basic versus Zimbabwe. You have to do to do those kind of things, but I'm glad Mitun did it. So, what would you make of the bowling from Bangladesh today?
The
Early
bowling was
on.
good. Zimbabwe is still a test side. I mean, they're still they're gonna have some players that bat well, especially with the experience they have in our conditions.
Of course.
Uh, we can't really expect our bowlers to bowl them out under 200 runs every game. Zimbabwe is still a pretty professional side, so our bowlers did pretty good. Spinners could have done a little better. Mehdi was a little expensive, and Opu was generally okay. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think our seamers did a very good job, especially Saifuddin
Yeah. Talk
and
talk about
Mustafiz.
talk about Saifuddin a little bit. How would you rate him after seeing this performance?
I mean, he's right on track. I don't think he's still ready for playing against oppositions yet, but he does have a tendency to swing the ball, which is very positive to see. He has a nice build, so
Yeah.
his fitness should be good. With his age, he should ramp up his speed a little bit more. That shouldn't be a problem. He can bat, so he's coming along really nicely. But at this point, I think the selectors has to be pretty selective about how they use him and not play him in conditions that can potentially destroy his confidence, which is what
Right.
happened against South Africa. Has to be a gradual. It has His inclusion has to be pretty gradual, and
Right.
it has to be selective.
Right.
Yeah,
He was the player of the match, so I'm happy for him.
yeah.
And the thing I like is, imagine if we had gone with another pacer like Rubel or Ronnie. I don't think they would have had better stats than what Seifuddin had today. They would pretty much have the same economy, and they would also probably pick up 3 wickets. So I look at it that way. So I'm happy with the Seifuddin selection. So
Right.
let's just now talk about the third ODI. It'll be in the same ground, Chittagong.
Yeah.
And what do you think should be the strategy? We won the toss again, and we bowled first today. Do you think it's a good? Is it that kind of pitch where you should bowl first and perhaps chase? Or
Well, yeah, the pitch tells you that not just the pitch. I mean, the whole overall condition tells you that it's gonna have some dew later on. But Bangladesh at some point they because we saw how the batting was first innings and we had like a bit of an early collapse. So maybe they should try and bat again to see if that problem
right,
persists
exactly.
because
I
this we have already won the series and
Yeah.
we're unlikely to lose the third one. So I would rather test out my batting lineup. What do you think?
Uh, you took the words out of my mouth. We need to be tested, and since we already fielded first, let's bat this time and see if give themselves a challenge. The series is won. Just give yourselves a total score that you can achieve, and then just
Yeah.
bat Zimbabwe out of the game. So the opening order, I'm guessing it'll be Kayas and Liton again, and I
Hmm.
doubt you're gonna have to. You probably will agree with that
Yeah, yeah.
totally.
I would agree.
So the
I
question
would.
is,
Sorry.
no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
So
ahead.
the
No, no,
question
you go
is,
ahead.
about Fazle, of course. Tricky, two ducks,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
all on the selectors, not the guy's fault. I mean, what he he shouldn't have been there. He should have never
Yeah.
been in the squad. So you put him in there or you take him off.
So for me, I would keep him there, to be very honest. Just because Shanto actually got a few, like I think one or two more chances than Fazle got, so it's only fair
Yeah.
to give Fazle another one. Even if he performs, I don't see him coming back. But it's just for being fair. I would give him another chance at this point. And plus, at the same time, I kind of don't think that Shanto is going to be part of our World Cup plans anyways. So, if we play him less games between now and World Cup, it's still fine.
Yeah.
Um, so I
True.
would play Fazle another game just to be fair. And then most of my changes are going to be down the order
Okay.
because
And we'll get into that, but
yeah,
a lot of people will tell you, how about Shomo? They're gonna throw Shomo at you. Does Shomo
right.
does he? And I actually agree with you. I don't want Shomo in the squad again. If Shomo's gonna be in the squad, just don't make him another Kayas. Like carve out a permanent spot for Shomo if that's who you really are gonna trust for the long term. Uh,
Yes.
and he simply doesn't have a space right now in the team. It's a pretty packed team, and I can't make space for Shomo. Fazley
Well,
should
he
have.
does. He
Yeah.
does. I mean, you could play him at his finisher's role, but I would not put him at number three simply
Well,
because because Shakib is our number three. If he plays,
right.
whenever he plays, he's gonna take that spot. And if we are actually serious about having Shomo permanently in the team, then we should put him at a spot where we are planning to keep him even after all the seniors and the full squad returns.
The
So
the only thing is I don't fancy Shomo as a finisher. He has to be an opener for me. That is his role. Actually, well, no, I was gonna say T20, but I think Liton is a better T20 opener than Shomo. I think Shomo is a good ODI player, but at the moment it's just very hard for me.
Leeton is a everything better opener than Shomo in any format. It doesn't matter. I mean, I know he's inconsistent, but yeah, I think he has a higher capability than Shomo, at least currently speaking.
Right. So after that, Mushfik, Mitun, Mitun because he's done well so far. I think it's good to persist with him. Even in the first match, if you remember, he got going, but again, he struggles a bit more against Pacers. Is the reason. So Mushfik, Mitun, Riyadh, and Miraz. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, I'm totally not, but
okay.
I'm gonna let you finish. Then I'm gonna put
No.
my
Oh,
big two
okay. No, because we're gonna go with the bowling.
together.
Yeah. We're gonna
Okay.
decide on the bowling lineup later. So
So here was my suggestion. If they did decide to, or if they do decide to drop Fazle, uh, what I was gonna suggest is I was gonna suggest have Riyadh come in at number 3, and I'll tell you why. Because Riyadh is someone who's a senior player. He doesn't need to be used to a certain spot. We're just trying to fill up that number 3 until Shakib comes back. I would play him there. That kind of opens an extra spot down the order for Ariful to come in or for Shomo to come in.
it sounds great.
So,
I just don't know if it'll work, but
well, I don't know if, well, obviously I don't see the selectors doing that, but that's what I would have done because we need to test all our middle and lower order guys. So I would open up that spot, play Riyadh up
right.
there, and
But
then play all those 3 guys potentially.
but didn't we just agree that we both would give Fazlin another
Yeah,
chance,
if we
right?
give Fazla another chance, then that's a different story. Yeah, I agree.
So
So
let's build upon that then.
so you said Liton, Imrul, Fazle,
Mushfik,
Mushfiq,
Mitun,
Michun,
Riyadh.
Riyadh. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Okay, so the
Yeah.
rest 5 players.
I
Yeah.
would pick Miraz again. I don't see any
Okay.
reason
Yeah.
why not to pick him because we're
I
the
would
both.
actually I would
Okay.
actually drop him for this game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
I would drop him for this game, and I'll tell you why. I don't think that he will get a solid chance to bat. A, and then B. If we are planning to keep Opu, then we already have a pretty decent off spinner in Riyadh. So I would actually rest him. I'm not dropping him by any means. He's a core player. I don't. There's no reason for me to drop him. I would rest him, and I would play an additional player there.
Hmm.
And I would reuse Riyadh for 4 or 5 more overs of off spin.
Right. I mean, I would be fine with that, depending on who else we have in the team, of course.
Okay.
So,
So so we have 6, and then at 7, I was gonna suggest putting Ariful in for this one.
right.
I'm just I'm just very very excited. I was very excited.
Okay.
I think he deserves a chance. I mean, he set the whole Asia Cup, and this was a series where he was gonna get a full series. He didn't get the first 2 games. I mean, it's only fair.
I, but I don't look at it that way. That's the only thing. Because was he really supposed to get a game? Because we don't play all our players in all the tours that we
He
play.
was. Shomo was not supposed to get into that squad in the first place, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, he's not supposed to. He wasn't supposed to. But I thought it was between Saifuddin and Ariful that selectors were simply gonna pick one for the ODI and play that
Yeah.
person.
No, I
But
understand that. I mean, but we also have to understand that Saifuddin, between Saifuddin and Ariful has a better potential with the bat, and Saifuddin, his bowling is still
true,
pretty limited to conditions, right? So
true,
uh, that's I would prefer to have a stronger batting attack right
right,
now because once Shakib comes
right.
back, we already have an all rounder right there. We are gonna play 3 seamers regardless of Saifuddin playing or not. So there we're gonna play one of Miraz or Opu. So we have 5 bowlers already, right? So having so
I
giving
see what you
him an
mean.
extended giving him an extended run as a 6th bowler, it's good to have that option as a backup. And I think he got his 2 chances, and I think he should still play the third one. But we also need to have someone who can hit down the order, and I would try Ariful there.
Okay, let's hear the rest of your team then. So,
Okay.
uh,
So we went so we had 6, and then we had Miraz at 7.
right, and you're putting Artful in eight.
Ariful in eight, and then Mashrafi at nine, and then 10 and 11 goes to Abu Haidar Rani and Rubel Hussein.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
And just to touch on Mash, I know you mentioned last game he needs some rest, but then I was thinking about this last night, and he's been taking it easy anyway. That's how I feel. Like his whole style of captaincy, because whenever he wants to, he can bowl at a higher pace, but I feel like he intentionally doesn't do that. So to
yeah,
me, that's like a form of resting, the self-resting, because you're not going to give your full effort in pace, but you'll kind of use your savvy, like your guile, all those years and just make changes here and there. So he's been kind of resting, if I can use that word, in a way.
yeah. And I was listening to his interview right after we did our last episode, and and what he said is the reason why he is playing is because this is the only format he plays, and after the next game he has a whole one like 4 weeks off to recover because he was saying he's still having a little.
Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you press
sorry,
the?
it got this.
Oh, okay. No, no, it's cool.
I,
So yeah, go
someone
on.
called. So.
Oh,
Yeah, so going forward, so yeah, I think what Mash said is yeah. So basically, he has 4 weeks after that, so he can easily uh,
yeah,
rest after that. That's I don't kind of makes sense to me. I mean, he doesn't play T20, doesn't play Tests, so if he really wants to be in the middle of the game, and because he's the one who has to build a squad for the World Cup, so if he wants to be in the middle and see all these guys that he's considering, I think it's a fair shot.
right. Totally agree. And with Ronnie, of course, is a favorite of mine. And Rubel, I'd also bring him in because he's been just licking his chops, just dying to have a go at this batsman and the form he is in, and he deserves a chance as well. So it just comes down to really Opu or Ariful, and
Yeah.
basically. So,
Yeah.
and I'll give you Ariful simply because you've been making the case for him. You also, and you're right about Opu actually, because you said it would be the same thing again. He'll pick up a couple of easy wickets, two, three wickets, and that's what exactly happened in today's game. So I'm
No, he
sure.
didn't pick up any wickets today, but he was pretty very economical.
Right.
I mean, the
No,
batsmen
I
were not looking to go after him at all.
yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just making it very easy for for Oppo and just for the spinners in general. And why make the game so easy? I would rather test out our batting.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, I kind of agree. I also want to say that the team is changing so much, Bangladesh as a whole, because once upon a time we were spin heavy attack, and
Yeah,
people used to know us for that even before the batting, the likes of
right.
Razak, Rafiq. So it's kind of like emotional, I guess. We're totally
Well, the game, yeah,
coming
the
coming.
game is gonna change, right? Because with the two new balls operating now. Like
Yeah,
it, everyone has all the spin heavy teams are forced to adjust their strategies, right? Even and by spin attacks right now, we always around the world at least, excluding Bangladesh, they usually have a leg spinner. So, and that's precisely the reason because of the two new balls. It's harder for conventional off spinners and slow left armers to turn the ball. So
right.
you have to adjust. You have to adjust like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's slot Eiffel in there, and I hope he's a good game. And predictions, I think we'll win again because we'll be totally without any pressure and let Rubel do his thing and let Liton do his thing and on the other side and Kais as well. Pretty sad for Kais didn't get the century today. So I think that was
Same
the
for Leeton.
yeah.
Same for Leeton. And I'll just add one thing. I mean, I watched the entire Leeton innings. He is very classy. He is like, I just hope that somehow he works on his mindset for the first 3 or 4 overs, and he really focuses on staying in the wicket because once he sees through a few deliveries, I
We
think it's a treat to
yeah.
watch.
We can talk about this more later on, but just
Right.
initially, to me, Liton's a T20 player. He just doesn't want to stay in there. Looking at him, he's early, just he's too much nerves and he really struggles early on. He needs to get set.
I don't know. I
And,
don't know though, because
and,
if
yeah,
we're looking out for the World Cup next year, we need to be making a batting lineup which are constantly capable of scoring 300 plus. And Leeton and Mitun, these are some of the guys. These are the kind of guys that will give us the best shot at it if
right.
they do end up getting a knock. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. So that was it. We've got our lineup, and hopefully they can wrap up this series. That would give them a good morale boost going into the test series. Not that they need it, but it always feels nice when you do a whitewash against any opposition.
yeah,
So thanks for joining me, Rinat, and
yeah, no problem. We'll talk again after before the test series because we're
yeah,
gonna be playing tests after a while, especially at home. So we're gonna have quite a lot to talk about.
right. And hopefully Mufi will be able to join us. Yeah, I know
Hope so.
You're busy right now, but it's always
Yeah.
good when we have us three together. All right, so thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone who's watching, peace out. Bye bye.